Imagine a world where bullets rain down like confetti at a crazy party, guns shoot rainbows, and enemies are so charismatic you almost feel sorry for blowing them to bits. That's Borderlands 4, the latest chapter in the looter-shooter that's been perfecting the art of mayhem for 16 years. I've been a fan of the series since Pandora stole my heart in 2009, and after spending weeks glued to my screen exploring the new planet Kairos, I'm ready to tell you everything that makes this game such a blast, and also what made me raise an eyebrow. With a badass tone, a crazy arsenal, and an open world that promises epic adventures, does Borderlands 4 live up to expectations? Hold on to your psycho cowboy hat, this is going to be one wild ride. Borderlands 4 takes us from dusty Pandora to Kairos, a planet that looks like a cross between a futuristic garbage dump and a psychopath's amusement park. The story picks up 6 years after Borderlands 3, with a new villain, the Chrono Keeper, a man who controls time and has the entire planet under his thumb. Your mission, as one of 4 new Vault Hunters, Vex, Rafa, Harlow, or Eamon, is to liberate Kairos, loot alien vaults, and in the process, cause monumental damage. The narrative isn't exactly The Godfather, but it has its charm. A mix of dark humor, witty dialogue, and moments that make you burst out laughing while you dismember enemies. Let's start with the brutality. If there's one thing Borderlands has always done well, it's making you feel like every shot counts. In this 4th installment, the gunplay is a masterpiece. The weapons, courtesy of 8 manufacturers, are a feast of creativity. Pistols that fire explosive projectiles, plasma-spewing shotguns, rainbow-shooting rifles, yes, really. The novelty here is that you can combine parts from different brands, creating hybrids that are as unpredictable as they are fun. A Vladoff machine gun with a regenerating TDR magazine? Take it! Each weapon feels unique, and the feeling of discovering a deadly new toy is like opening presents at Christmas. The gunfights are frenetic, with enemies ranging from screaming bandits to robots that look like they're straight out of a cyberpunk nightmare. The bosses are a spectacle. Each one has MMO-style mechanics, trap-laced arenas, immunity phases, and attack patterns that force you to move as if your life depends on it. Spoiler, it does. For example, an early boss has you dancing through pools of acid while swinging with a grappling hook to avoid an area attack. It's intense, it's epic, and when you manage to take them down, the reward is so satisfying that you want to stand up and applaud. If you could slide and climb in Borderlands 3, here Gearbox ups the ante with an arsenal of moves that make exploring Kairos a joy. Double jump, glide, a retractable grappling hook that lets you hang from specific points, and a jetpack that lets you hover like a drunken falcon. These mechanics not only make combat more dynamic, but they turn exploration into an amusement park. You can scale cliffs, glide over chasms, and use the grappling hook to launch yourself at enemies like a human missile. And if that's not enough, the Digi-Runner, a hoverbike you summon with the touch of a button, lets you zip around the massive maps. It's as if Gearbox said, you want freedom? Take tons of freedom. The 4 Vault Hunters are a diverse and charismatic group. Vex, the Necromancer Siren, summons minions and unleashes elemental powers like a punk sorceress. Rafa, the Exo Soldier, is a tank that generates digital weapons and deals out a beating like there's no tomorrow. Harlow manipulates gravity, and Eamon is a cybernetic colossus who turns melee combat into an art. Each has deep skill trees that let you customize your playstyle endlessly. Do you want to be a damage-absorbing tank? A sniper who fires from the shadows? A mage who casts explosive spells? Anything is possible, and combining skills with weapons create builds that are a joy to experiment with. The humor, true to the series, is snarky, absurd, and full of pop culture references. Claptrap remains the most annoying and adorable robot in the universe, cracking jokes that are so bad, they're good. The dialogue is better written than in Borderlands 3, with a balance between dark humor and more heartfelt moments. There are side quests that are real gems, like one where you have to help a Vault Hunter-obsessed fan fulfill his dream of becoming famous. Not everything is perfect, we'll get to that later, but the tone is irreverent enough to keep you hooked.
Kairos is a radical departure from Pandora. Its 4 regions, from the vanishing fields to the toxic swamps, are full of life and detail. The environments are denser than ever, with skyboxes that make you stop and look at the horizon. Damn it, Gearbox, give us a photo mode. The open world is brimming with activities, strongholds to capture, collectibles, random events, and vaults that function as survival arenas. The verticality, thanks to the grapple and glide, makes exploration a pleasure. You can spend hours searching for secrets, opening chests, or just enjoying the chaos. And in co-op, all of this is multiplied. Playing with friends is such an addictive experience that it will make you forget the real world. Borderlands 4 is a game designed to keep you coming back again and again. With 4 characters, extensive skill trees, and millions of weapons, every playthrough feels different. The endgame with primordial vaults and world bosses offers challenges that reward strategy and coordination, especially in co-op. Additionally, Gearbox has added an option to create a level 30 Vault Hunter directly after completing the campaign, skipping the initial grind if you want to jump straight into the chaos. It's a nod to hardcore fans who want to farm legendary gear without repeating missions. Now for the ugly. Let's be honest, Borderlands' story has never been its strong suit, and while Borderlands 4 improves on the 3rd installment, it fails to match the charisma of Borderlands 2. The Chrono Keeper is a decent villain, with a futuristic despot vibe, but he lacks the magnetism of Handsome Jack, whose shadow remains looming large. The plot is predictable. Kill 3 henchmen to reach the final bad guy with some twists that, while entertaining, aren't surprising. The side missions, while fun, fall into the classic genre trap. Go here, kill this, collect that. Some are memorable, but others feel like filler to stretch out the time in Kairos. Playing Borderlands 4 on PC was a roller coaster. The switch to Unreal Engine 5 brings more detailed graphics and more polished cell shading, but also optimization issues. Popping, frame drops, and character models that look somewhat stiff are more common than I'd like. On consoles, the experience is more stable, but not perfect. For a game that costs $70 in its standard version, I expected a more polished finish. Gearbox has promised updates, but at launch, these glitches can be a bit of a shock. The enemies in Borderlands 4 are varied and charismatic, but the artificial intelligence isn't always up to par. Sometimes bandits stand still as if gazing at the landscape, while others run straight into your sights without any strategy. This doesn't ruin the gunplay, but in a game that boasts frenetic combat, more polished AI would have elevated the experience. The bosses, however, more than make up for it, but lesser enemies sometimes seem to be in noob mode. Kairos is vast and beautiful, but some side activities feel generic. Hacking emissions, collecting items, or clearing strongholds can become monotonous after a few hours. The game encourages you to spend time in its world, but it doesn't always ensure that time is quality time. I would have preferred fewer repetitive tasks and more missions with the narrative spark of the better side quests. Furthermore, the hook, while fun, is limited to specific points, which somewhat frustrates the fantasy of being Spider-Man without restrictions. Borderlands 4's humor is a double-edged sword. When it hits the mark, it cracks you up. When it misses, it makes you roll your eyes. Some jokes feel forced, and while the Spanish dubbing is excellent, masterfully locating references, there are moments where Borderlands 3's cringe tone rears its head. It's not as severe as in the previous installment, but if you're not a fan of snarky humor, some dialogue may take you out of the experience. Borderlands 4 is like a talking grenade. Explosive, loud, and a little unhinged, but not without its flaws. The gunplay is the best in the series. The movement mechanics make you feel like a post-apocalyptic ninja, and the world of Kairos is a playground full of possibilities. The characters, co-op, and replayability ensure hours of fun, especially if you play with friends. However, the narrative doesn't reach the heights of Borderlands 2, the technical issues are a nuisance, and some activities feel like filler.
If you're a fan of the series, this game is a homecoming with a new arsenal and a bigger world. If you're new, a roller coaster of chaos and laughter awaits, but be prepared to forgive some flaws. My recommendation, grab some friends, choose Vex because sirens are cool, and jump into Kairos. It may not be perfect, but when you're firing an opera-singing rocket launcher while hovering over an acid-spewing boss, you realize Borderlands 4 is still a unique experience. Ready to wreak havoc? I'm already reloading.